Hi, my name is Seth Yelorda, and I'm an organizational development consultant. And I work with individuals and organizations and leaders to really help them experience high performance, both on a personal side and on an organizational side. And what I've realized is that one of the keys to experiencing high performance is you have to have a clear set of goals. Like the goal is really the secret to experiencing high levels of success almost in every area of your life. If you want to lose weight, you have to have a goal. You're not just going to wake up and trip into a weight loss plan. If you want to save and build wealth and build for your retirement, you have to have a goal that you're going for. If you want to buy a new house, you have to have a goal. And if you want to achieve a professional goal, or if your organization is working towards a corporate goal, like you have to have a very clear goal that you set for yourself, something that's measurable. In some settings, they call them key performance indicators, KPIs, which really show us, are we moving towards the goal? Well, that also applies to the personal side, that you need to have key performance indicators which show you if you're making the steps in the right direction. Now, there's different types of goals that you can obviously establish. There's three types. There's process goals, there's performance goals, and there's outcome goals. Now, a process goal would be if you said to yourself, I want to wake up every morning and go to the gym. That is a process that you are implementing, and your goal is to go to the gym every single morning. Or you could say a process goal in a work setting might be only to check your email 2 times a day. That would be a process goal. You are working towards something, and you set a goal for the process that you are going to follow or implement that will help you achieve that goal. And then you have performance goals. Now, an example of a performance goal would be if you said you want to run 2 miles a day. The process goal would say, I'm going to go running every day. The performance goal would say, I'm going to run 2 miles every single day. I hope you understand the difference. So process is, I'm going to do X every single day. And the performance goal says, I'm going to do X and Y in my attempt to reach an outcome goal. So both process goals and performance goals really work together to help you then achieve an outcome goal. And that outcome goal might be to run a marathon. That outcome goal might be to lose a certain amount of weight, or that outcome goal might be to make a certain sales goal with your organization, or to get a certain grade in class. That would be an outcome goal. So you might say to yourself, my outcome goal is I want to get an A in this class. And so the process goal is I'm going to study every day. And then the performance goal says, I'm going to study 2 hours every day. And so really these two goals, process and performance goals, really work hand in hand in order for us to achieve an outcome goal. Now, for many people, you're most familiar with goals when it comes to New Year's resolution, because around that time, we all set goals. And a lot of times we set outcome goals. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to save $30,000. I want to buy a new house. All of those are outcome goals. And those are good. And I think you should have outcome goals stated somewhere where you can see them every single day and write them down every single day. And we're going to talk about why that's important in a minute. But in addition to the outcome goal is to have the process and the performance goals that you are going to do every single day that will help you reach that outcome goal. That is extremely important. So it's not enough just to have the outcome goal. You also have to have the process and the performance goal. Tony Robbins once said that setting goals is the first step of turning the invisible into visible. And I think that's a really powerful quote. Setting goals is the first step from turning the invisible into the visible, because something actually happens in your brain when you start to set a goal. In fact, many of you all may be familiar with the reticular activating system in your brain, the RAS. It's essentially a portion of our brain that plays a crucial role in regulating our goal-setting actions. And so the RAS is a cluster of cells located at the base of our brain that processes all the information and all the sensory channels related to the things that need our attention right now. It's really that part of our brain that keeps us focused on the things that we feel need our attention. You may have experienced this before when you said to yourself, I want to buy a new car, and the car I want to buy is a Honda Accord. And then all of a sudden you start seeing Honda Accords everywhere. Because you have set the goal of buying a Honda Accord, your brain automatically starts hyper-focusing on all of the Honda Accords out there. It's not like there's more Accords than there were a year ago or even a week ago, but now your brain is focusing on what you said you want your brain to focus on. And so that's why goal setting is so important, is because when you set a goal, you are basically telling your brain, I want you to focus on this. So if it's weight loss, then you're saying, I want you to focus on losing 20 pounds. And all of a sudden, your brain starts hyper focusing on all of the information and the sensory channels out there, which are going to lead you to accomplish your goal. It's actually a really powerful thing that God has done for us by giving us this RAS, this reticular activating system. And so when you set a goal, you're basically telling your brain to start focusing on this thing. You might tell yourself, well, I want to set a goal of reaching a certain financial standard. Well, your brain is going to start focusing on that, and you're going to start noticing and identifying things that will help you reach that financial standard. Now, whether you actually follow through and take advantage of the things that your brain is calling out, that's up to you to decide, but your brain will do its role in positioning you and nudging you in the right direction to actually achieve the thing that you set out to achieve and to make visible the invisible. So one way to make sure the RAS is working in your favor is to write your goals down. A practice that I've been doing for some time now is every single morning I write down my goals for the year. Every single morning, I write them down. And I only have 3 or 4 goals for the rest of this year, but I write them down every single morning because I want my brain to be thinking about them. And I want my brain to be leading me down certain pathways and nudging me in the direction to actually accomplish those goals. Another way that we can really activate this RAS and use it to our advantage is through visualization. And visualization isn't some like mystic form of meditation, but it's really you just sitting back and imagining that the thing that you've set out to accomplish, that you have already accomplished it. I'll never forget when I was training for a half a marathon, and it was the first time I was going to ever run 7 miles in my training regimen without stopping. And so I set out to run those 7 miles, and probably around mile 4 or 5, I felt like I started to hit a wall, but I told myself, well, you've already run 6 miles without stopping. So if you can run 6 miles without stopping, at least get to mile 6 and then we'll reevaluate. So I hit the wall around mile 4 or 5. I got to mile 6 because I powered through because I had historical knowledge, because I had success of running 6 miles without stopping. And when I got to mile 6, what I did was I just started imagining myself crossing the finish line of that half marathon at mile 7. I literally, while I was running mile 6, I put my hands in the air and started just cheering myself on. And I just summoned all of those positive emotions I would experience when I cross over that half marathon finish line. And that allowed me to continue to power through to running 7 miles without stopping. And then the next week I did 8, next week I did 9, and then I did 10. And then a few weeks later, I did the half marathon. And true to form, what I had experienced while running that mile 6 and 7, 4 or 5 weeks earlier, I actually experienced when I crossed that half marathon for the very first time. So there's something really powerful about visualizing yourself. Maybe you want to lose weight. Well, visualize yourself fitting into those jeans, or visualize yourself with that 6-pack, or visualize yourself with the amount of money that you say that you want in the bank, and not just see that money in the bank or see yourself with that weight loss or see yourself accomplishing that goal, but how do you feel? How does it make you feel? Actually celebrate it in that moment, because your brain is so powerful that when you start to imagine something, your brain, as science has shown us, it can't distinguish the difference between reality and imagined reality. Your brain is just that powerful. So as we go into the last half of this year, 2023, I want to really encourage you to set an impossible goal for yourself. What's that one thing that you want to do? Write it down and imagine yourself doing it successfully every single day. See yourself doing it, write it down every day, and watch what your brain does as it begins to move you in the direction. Now, obviously, you have to put forward the work. It's not just going to happen. You have to have a process goal with that thing, and you have to have a performance goal surrounding that outcome goal. But as you begin to do that, you'll start to see that snowball pick up steam, gain momentum, and before you know it, you will actually achieve the very thing that you set out to achieve. Now, I recognize that goal setting is really dynamic and there's multiple layers, and this is just really a high-level, oversimplified snapshot of the power and the purpose behind goal setting. And in the next coming weeks, I'm going to release more videos really detailing how you can leverage goal setting to reach your goals for the remainder of this year. I really believe that it's important important for every person to have a goal. I once heard someone say, if Michael Jordan walked into this room right now, how many baskets could he score? And of course, in this room, the answer would be 0. And they said, why? Because there's no goals. Now, I like that as a silly illustration, but it's really true that you can't score in life if you don't have goals. You can't win at life if you don't have goals. And so set goals for yourself that you can win and succeed at life. If this was helpful, I would love for you to share it and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video that will come out in just a few days. Peace.